Bootstrap is basically somebody else's code and you're utilizing it. So when we want to use Bootstrap, we're going to have to bring in some files from another location to be able to actually utilize the other person's code. On the Bootstrap's website, you have the Get Started option and the Download option. Under Download, when you go there, you can download the entire CSS and JS, which stands for JavaScript. That way you can see what the code is. What's important to note when you download this, and I'd like you to download it, is that it is a local version of the file. So right now we're on version 5.0.1. If they update Bootstrap to 5.0.2, you would have to re-download these files and replace them on your web server. So when we open this up, being a zipped folder, we're going to go ahead and go to the Extract tab, that's pink, and we're going to extract the files. It's then going to ask you where do you want to extract them. I'm just going to leave it at the default in my downloads folder and extract it, and it's going to show me the extracted files in a new window, and I'm going to close the previous one. What I want to show you in Bootstrap is that in the CSS folder, when we go into it, there is a bunch of different bootstraps that get brought up for CSSs. But what I'm going to do is open up this bootstrap.min.css. This file will open in a notepad. What's important to note that is it's a lot of stuff. And I want you to imagine having typed all this without having an enter in between. So if we start at the beginning, you can see like they open up a root tag, then they have their curly brackets for that tag, and it keeps going. And if we keep going across, it's all the different things for that tag. You can see as you look through here, there's different tags and then curly brackets that open and close that tag with all the different CSS inside. So really, they just didn't hit enter in between. So that's why it's all jumbled together. But this is a lot of code. I mean, if we scroll to the right here, that's a lot of different CSS styles. And what's important to note about this is that you don't need to know all these. You don't need to know even what they coded for all of these. But you do need to be aware that you're pulling from somebody else's CSS and you're editing it. So starting up at the top, for instance, let's hit Control F and let's go ahead and go to body. If we're looking for body and find the next option, you're going to see we're going to find a body tag, and it's going to tell us what that body tag is doing. So bodies have a margin of 0. The font family is a variable font family of sans serif with a font size of 1 rem, font weight of 400, that means it's a little bit bolder. It's got line height, it's got color in there, and it takes me down to the next screen. What color is the background color of the page? What is these WebKit pieces? And then it closes. What's important to note is that, like, just looking at this, I know that the CSS for Bootstrap has set a font family for the entire page. It's set a default font size and a boldness. It's also set a default color of this color right here, 212529. The pages will all have a background color of white because that's FFF. And you have these things that you can kind of look through and know what's going on. What's important to note that every time we call upon something, we're calling upon this CSS. Now, can we edit it and overwrite it? Yes. But what I want you to keep from all of this is that you're utilizing somebody else's coding and you're going to drop it into your page and bring it in so that you don't have to code all of this CSS.